We live in a copy and paste world. 2021, dominated as it is by computers and smartphones and speed and sameness, seems to no longer be a place where originality thrives. And sometimes I wonder whether this extends to the realm of human relationships also. I suspect it does. By some quirk of fate, more by design than accident, I've reached the age of 47 without ever having been married or engaged. I have been in long-term relationships, of course, lasting an average of 2 years apiece, but I've largely avoided moving in with women, except for on 2 occasions, both of which were a disaster. In between, I've dated many women, and I think it reasonable to assume that I've dated more than most other men of my age. What do I conclude from this enhanced exposure to the opposite sex? What lessons can I draw from my somewhat unique experience? Only this, that it is remarkable the degree to which one encounter resembles that which preceded it, which inevitably resembled the one that came before that. Each reaction when you approach a new woman is familiar. Some other girl, perhaps recently, responded similarly. The questions they ask, the remarks that they make. Do you do this often? How old are you? Are you married? And so on. And then on the first date, the conversation always follows the same archetypal template. Your flirtatious persistence, her faux demureness, and an escalation that either leads to intimacy or not. And intimacy, the sex itself, we feel it should be somehow magical, a unique experience. This aligns with our personal pride. We no doubt like to think of ourselves as skilled lovers, and so, with me, it must be different. Surely this must be the best experience that she's ever had. But sadly, I suspect that this is not the case. Sometimes during or after the act of sex, I find myself wondering, is it like this for everyone? And I suspect that it probably is. The sounds, the words spoken, the choreography of this act or that position followed by the next is almost certainly being replicated in other bedrooms around the world right now with astonishing similitude. Certainly, I can say that the actions and reactions of the women I've been intimate with over the years have been uniform to a surprising degree. I mean no disrespect in saying that. I'm pretty sure that I am an identikit copy of every other man of my age out there in this regard too. But I make the observation, since it supports my suspicion, that even in the erotic realm, things are, well, a little bit samey. I made a video recently where I talked about the ennui you experience growing older, and we're in similar territory here. Beneath that video, some commentators seemed concerned and suggested I take certain mitigating actions, like meditating and so on. Meditation is great, but you can't meditate away reality, and nor should you want to. I've always tried to see things as clearly as possible, and it seems to me that however much we would like to think of ourselves as special and unique, we are not even in this most private area of our lives. Well, what does it matter, you might ask? Perhaps it doesn't. But often as men, we create a hero's journey in our minds that climaxes, literally, when we come together with this or that woman. It is disappointing, therefore, but entirely logical to remember that actually, even in this most sacred area of our lives, we are just animals going through the same old rigmarole as all the other animals. This is especially piquant for me, I think, simply because I dedicated so much of my early life to the pursuit of sex above all else. My 20s, a decade I should have spent building for my future, is a blur of drink, drugs, and girls. And I naively believed that getting with this or that girl, especially if she was particularly attractive, made me exceptional. It didn't. And worse, the high of having been with this or that girl was short-lived. After a day or so, I'd be out there again on the unforgiving scene, chasing the next conquest, the next high. Only now, in my 40s, can I see clearly that the pursuit of sex for validation is a fool's game. Sex itself remains pleasurable, but you cannot allow yourself to attach undue meaning to it. It's a common act, enacted by billions of people a day. You are not an archangel because you made her come. You were just another dude. If we are to have a stab at immortality or mere significance, it must come through our work, our creativity. We talk a lot about how you should put your mission first, so that it sounds like a truism, but it isn't. The drive for sex is deep within all of us, but so is the desire for meaning and significance. In fact, the latter might be stronger than the former. And the only way you will achieve it is by building something for yourself, whether it be a business, some artistic project, or by performing charitable acts. Sex, the act that makes us feel like billion-dollar kings, is a chimera, for it only makes us human.